A Canadian forest ranger recently captured something on camera that's got everyone talking, footage that some believe shows Bigfoot returning from a hunt. The video quickly set the internet on fire, sparking endless debates among fans and skeptics alike. Could this finally be proof that the legendary creature is real, or just another wild coincidence lost in the deep Canadian woods? He managed to capture two large hairy figures moving through the trees. One of them appeared to be holding something small, maybe a bird. What stood out most was their human-like stride, and the fact that they didn't seem to notice they were being filmed at all. The ranger says he hasn't seen them again since that day, but he's hoping for another sighting. So what do you think? Was it a clever prank? Or just one of those eerie tricks the forest loves to play on us? This footage, recorded on July 14, 2019 in the dense western woods of Košice, Slovakia, shows a lone hiker on a 2-day trek. At first, everything seemed peaceful, until he started getting that unsettling feeling that someone, or something, was watching him. Turns out, he wasn't wrong. A deep, menacing growl echoed from somewhere outside, freezing him in place. Panic kicked in and he took off running, heart pounding, breath sharp in the cold air. But just when he thought he'd escaped whatever was out there, he stumbled upon something that left him completely stunned. He froze in shock. A tall, shadowy figure was violently shaking the trees ahead. Its massive size towered over the surrounding brush, moving with a strength no human could match. Overwhelmed with fear, the hiker turned and bolted, his footsteps echoing through the forest. He didn't stop running until he was far from the woods, and he swore he'd never set foot there again. A man started noticing strange footprints and hearing weird noises around his property. Curious and a little freaked out, he decided to call in a cryptid expert to check things out. But when the expert finally showed up, something happened that no one could have predicted, an event that completely changed everything.
We're now in the southwestern corner of the property. Allegedly, this is where the guy said he had the most activity. That remains to be seen. It's a little spooky, I guess. It's mostly just quiet. Apparently they're building a subdivision over that way. Huh. Oh. What the hell was that? Oh. Something walking. Oh, shh. Okay, all right. Okay.
A massive creature, looking eerily similar to a Sasquatch, was seen moving toward the camera operator. Its glowing red eyes pierced through the darkness, giving the entire scene a terrifying, almost supernatural vibe. Some people believe it was nothing more than a man in a costume or maybe a clever post-production trick. But the truth? Still completely unknown. What do you think really happened in this sighting? Two men headed out into the wilderness for a relaxing camping trip. Everything was going great. The fire was crackling, the night was calm, until they suddenly heard a strange noise echoing through the trees. What happened next completely caught them off guard.
No, they had
primal lightning struck fires.
they held their stogies to the skies
Yeah.
and waited for Edison to strike.
You can just drag a girl to your cave by their hair and fucking breed.
Yep, just like the good old days.
Just like the good old days.
Beer.
Times.
Oh my goodness. She actually
Wait,
kind of does look like a bear.
Did
What?
you hear something?
I
I
don't know.
just-
No.
When is this blackout? Like your imagination plays tricks on you.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, what the
Fuck.
heck? Hold on.
No.
Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck is that?
What? I don't see.
What the fuck?
Wait, what
Uh,
the fuck?
Hey,
Are you
there's
okay?
something. What the fuck? Maroon? Maroon?
A strange figure started moving toward them from the distance. At first it looked like another camper wandering through the woods, but as it got closer, they realized it wasn't human at all. It was something else, something beastly. What happened after that remains a mystery. There were no follow-up reports, no updates, just this one chilling video. Let's just hope those men made it out safely. A hiker was exploring a quiet stretch of forest when something strange caught his eye. In the distance, through the thick trees, he spotted a dark figure partly hidden behind the leaves. He quickly zoomed in with his camera, but the footage was too blurry to make out exactly what it was. The shape looked big, covered in dark fur, and it seemed to move, just slightly, as if it were watching him. These photos were captured by a trail camera at an undisclosed location. In the first image, a dark silhouette can be seen lurking behind a tree. In the next frame, the same figure appears to have moved closer, its shape becoming clearer, showing what looks like a head, a broad chest, and two long arms. Then, in the final shot, the creature stands fully visible, tall, muscular, and eerily similar to what many describe as Bigfoot. The person who shared the images said they have no idea what it was but doubted it was just a person. The area, they claim, is extremely remote and private, and that's exactly why they've never revealed the location, fearing it would be overrun by Bigfoot hunters. A man was spending a quiet day on his property when he started hearing strange noises coming from the woods. Curious, he grabbed his camera and began recording. As he slowly panned across the trees, the lens caught something unusual, a dark shape lurking deep in the shadows. It wasn't the first time he'd felt uneasy out there. Strange sounds had echoed through those woods before. Some people believe that whatever was out there that day might have been Bigfoot. This video surfaced from near the St. Croix River in Minnesota. The footage is grainy and shaky, typical of most supposed sightings. The cameraman suddenly pans to the left, catching a glimpse of a large, dark figure moving quickly through the trees before abruptly stopping the recording. When the clip was stabilized, it revealed a tall shape with long arms, swinging naturally as it walked. Some people claimed the movement looked too smooth, too fluid to be human. In enhanced frames, you can even make out what seems to be the faint outline of a face, shoulders, and maybe even a hand. But the footage is blurry, and the backstory behind it is just as unclear, making it hard for anyone to say for sure what was really captured that day. A man was out collecting firewood near his barn when he noticed a dark shape far off in the distance. Curious, he zoomed in with his phone and froze. Standing near the tree line was a tall, dark figure with unusually long arms. It seemed to notice him, then quietly stepped behind a tree. Moments later, a smaller shape appeared beside it, before both slowly faded back into the woods. The tall one turned to glance in his direction one last time, then disappeared completely. No one knows what the man saw that day, but most agree. It didn't look human. In 1994, Matt Moneymaker recorded a strange moaning howl in Columbiana County, Ohio, near the Ohio River. The sound was deep, echoing through the forest at night. When analyzed, experts noticed a unique tone in the spectrogram, something called an attenuated fundamental, believed by some to be part of Sasquatch vocal patterns. A faint second howl could also be heard, almost like another creature responding in the distance. The recording, later known as the Ohio Howl, went on to become one of the most discussed and mysterious Bigfoot audio clips ever captured. In October 2020, a channel called Salish Sasquatch shared a thermal video from Grays Harbor. The footage showed a massive, heat-emitting figure lying on a steep slope in total darkness. Its outline revealed broad shoulders and a thick chest, a shape far too large to match a person. It's hard to say exactly what the video captured, but one thing's for sure. It looked unlike anything you'd expect to see out there. In late 2009, a group of hikers in Maine captured footage of a strange figure sitting high in a tree.
Oh no, I see an ape.
Yeah, it does look like a monkey. What's that? We'll have good video, Karen.
Can't believe we saw a porcupine bear.
That really looks like a monkey.
I know.
That looks like a freaking monkey. I think it's a snow monkey. No, you can come this way.
It looked strange, almost like a primate. So the hikers uploaded the video to YouTube asking if it could be a Sasquatch. The clip quickly went viral, grabbing attention from viewers and even newspapers across the US and beyond, with some calling it possible proof of Bigfoot. But the mystery didn't last long. Experts later confirmed the creature was just a North American porcupine. From a distance, its dark fur and hunched posture can easily trick the eye, especially deep in the woods. In 2013, a YouTube user named Wargun uploaded a short, unsettling clip. At first it seemed ordinary, just a shaky video taken in the woods. But as the camera panned across the trees, something unexpected came into view. The figure was distant, hard to make out, but its movement was enough to leave viewers uneasy. Take a look.
Look at that! Oh my gosh! Look at it go! Come on, camera, focus. It's gone. Wait. There it is! There it goes.
Oh my goodness.
The video was later stabilized by Adam B., and it quickly went viral. Some viewers claimed the creature's stride looked almost identical to the famous Patterson-Gimlin footage, while others dismissed it, insisting it was just a man in a suit, pointing out that the group's reaction didn't seem completely genuine. Still, the clip sparked plenty of debate online. So, what do you think? Was it real, or just another well-played hoax? Residents of Sunchild Reserve have been reporting strange echoing sounds coming from deep within the forest this spring. The noises are low, haunting, and unlike anything locals have heard before. Some describe them as howls. Others say they sound almost like a voice calling from far away. Listen closely and decide for yourself what's making those sounds. The noises usually start around 3 in the morning, loud, drawn out, and impossible to pinpoint. Some people say it's just a wolf or a bobcat, but others insist it sounds nothing like any animal they've ever heard before. Old stories from the 1970s tell of strange footprints found in this very same area, and now many wonder if whatever made those tracks has come back. No one's actually seen it yet, but everyone's heard it, and it's leaving the whole community on edge. In the Sayan Mountains, a hiker named Evgeny Lomakin filmed something unusual walking along a riverbank. The figure was tall, hunched, and completely covered in hair, moving in a way no human ever could. Around that same time, hunters near Salakard discovered massive footprints pressed deep into the snow, far larger than any humans. The tracks suddenly turned and disappeared into the forest without a trace. Many believe what they encountered wasn't just an animal, but the Almasty, Russia's version of Bigfoot. In the middle of an overgrown field, a trail camera captured a strange image. A dark, human-shaped figure with a slightly elongated head. No one knows for sure what it was. Some say it could have been an ape wandering through the area, while others believe it might be the very creature people have whispered about for decades, Bigfoot. Since the exact location of where the photo was taken was never revealed, the mystery remains unsolved. In the remote wilderness of Alaska, a camper suddenly heard rustling nearby. That's when he saw it, a massive, dark figure gliding silently between the trees. It moved upright like a human, but its body was broad, heavy, and covered in thick hair, more like an ape than a man. For a moment it paused, as if watching him, before disappearing back into the forest. The encounter matched countless old descriptions of Bigfoot, and once again, reignited the debate over whether the legendary creature is truly out there. A photo shared online claimed to show a Bigfoot deep in the woods of Texas. The figure looked tall and broad, covered in dark hair, with long arms hanging low to the ground. Some people dismissed it as fake, while others were convinced it was the real thing. Unfortunately, no further details about the encounter were ever released, making it difficult to believe this was a genuine Bigfoot sighting. This audio was recorded by Norma Trent on her property in Bruno, West Virginia. Do you hear it? Many believe it was a Sasquatch, calling out in the open without fear. The sounds, later shared online, became one of the most talked about pieces of Bigfoot evidence. No one could say for sure, but for many, the Trent vocalizations remain one of the clearest and eeriest proofs yet. This security camera, set up on a remote property deep in the woods, caught something strange late one night. A large figure was seen running through the darkness, and just seconds later it began to fade, slowly dissolving into thin air. It was probably just a camera glitch, but the sight still left the family uneasy, wondering who or what had been on their property that night. Sheriff Woody Wallace from Trinity County, East Texas, was talking about a pretty common problem: people illegally dumping trash in a local park. He explained that new cameras had been installed at both ends of the road, recording every car that entered and left the area. But while the sheriff was focused on cleaning up the community, something strange showed up in the background. Something that had nothing to do with the trash.
Both ends of this road, I have cameras up. I can see the cars when they come in. I can check the cars when they come out. They had a bunch of garbage when they come in, and it's not still in the back of their truck when they leave. We've got a problem. So this right here is a bunch of cat food cans, a bunch of cat food and bird food. So whoever the perpetrator is, they like cats. Oh, they got a lot of them. We're going to do everything we can to find out who they are. Please share this message, and if you know who feeds their cats this kind of cat food.
Among the trees, a tall, fur-covered figure seemed to be standing upright, just for a moment, before slipping back into the woods. The sheriff didn't notice it at the time, but viewers who later watched the footage were left stunned, wondering what on earth they had just seen. In May of 2012, Stacy Brown Sr. and his son were camping near Torreya State Park when a series of strange, echoing knocks rolled through the woods, instantly catching their attention. Moments later, Stacy Sr. spotted it, a massive figure moving across a clearing in the dark. Using their FLIR thermal imager, they managed to capture the creature on camera. When they later analyzed the footage, the step length and estimated height, somewhere between 7.5 and 8.5 feet, were far beyond normal human limits. The way it walked, the posture, the proportions, everything matched what people have described in classic Bigfoot encounters. Even after returning to the site multiple times, the evidence kept pointing to the same unsettling conclusion. Whatever they caught on camera that night wasn't a person. It was something much bigger. Last September, a man named Brian snapped a quick photo while riding the Georgetown train in Colorado. At first, nothing about it seemed out of the ordinary. But later, when he shared the picture with friends, they noticed something strange. A dark, human-like figure standing behind a tree near the tracks. The photo was taken facing south, away from Highway 6, along a quiet and remote part of the loop. Brian later confirmed that there were no statues, displays, or cutouts anywhere in that area. The distance and shadows made it difficult to tell exactly what it was. But the domed head, broad shoulders, and thick, heavy frame gave it the unmistakable appearance of a classic Sasquatch sighting. While hiking along a quiet forest trail, this person caught something strange on camera. In the distance, a massive figure could be seen slowly making its way down a hillside. Its arms hung low, and with each step, it covered an incredible amount of ground, far more than any normal person would. From its size, build, and the way it moved, many believe it could be Bigfoot. Others aren't so sure, saying it's probably just a person, maybe someone in a costume. But for those who've studied these sightings for years, this clip feels different, more natural, more unsettling, and harder to explain away, too. On September 2nd, 2023, Finn, Brenton, and a friend decided to camp out in Freetown State Forest, Massachusetts, a place long rumored to be tied to dark legends and whispers of occult rituals. Since camping there isn't allowed, they quietly set up their tent, trying not to attract any attention. But as night fell, eerie noises began echoing through the woods, breaking the stillness and sending chills down their spines. The disturbing sounds grew closer, and fear kept them frozen inside the tent. None of them managed to sleep that night. When morning finally came, they hoped daylight would bring some comfort, but the strange noises didn't stop. Instead, they became even more unsettling, echoing through the forest in ways that made no sense at all. Is that what's making that sound? It sounds like a bird? Okay, this just got creepier. We've got this noise on top of it now. You really can't see anything outside the tent, bro. Why does it sound like someone's crying? I'm out, I'm not doing this. The atmosphere shifted from merely unsettling to downright terrifying. The forest seemed alive with cries and strange, unexplainable sounds that left them paralyzed with fear. Panic quickly replaced curiosity. In a rush, they tore down their camp, abandoning the site and swearing never to return. Whatever haunted the forest that night remains a mystery, but the experience left them shaken, convinced that something beyond explanation lurks in those woods. While hiking near Duffield, Virginia, a Reddit user came across a strange footprint embedded in a rock. Although they didn't place anything nearby for scale, they estimated it to be around 12 to 14 inches long. The print was oddly shaped, unusually large and sharply defined against the stone surface. What made it even more puzzling was the fact that there were no other tracks around, just that single, massive impression seemingly carved into the rock itself. In March, a woman living near Redgut Bay, Ontario, noticed something unusual moving through the woods behind her property. The area is remote and quiet, so anything out of the ordinary immediately stands out. She quickly pulled out her phone and started recording. When the footage was later analyzed by the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch team, they stabilized it and made the figure clearer, a tall, dark silhouette with one arm that seemed unusually long. Locals familiar with previous sightings in the region were quick to speculate that it could be Bigfoot. Wanting to avoid attention, the woman chose to stay anonymous. This unsettling video was recorded by Igor, a man living deep in the remote Siberian wilderness of Russia. His cabin, surrounded entirely by dense forest, was no stranger to the usual nighttime sounds. But recently, he began hearing something different. Low, guttural growls echoing from the trees nearby. Igor knew the calls of local wildlife well, but these sounds were unlike anything he had ever heard before. On this particular night, the sounds were louder and closer than ever before. Igor grabbed his flashlight and camera, stepping cautiously onto his porch. The forest around him was pitch black, the only light coming from the dim glow of his cabin window. Then, from somewhere beyond the tree line, the growl came again. Deep, rumbling, and disturbingly close. It was unlike any animal he could recognize, and in that moment, Igor realized he might not be alone out there in the frozen Siberian woods. Determined to find where the sounds were coming from, Igor grabbed his night vision camera and stepped out into the darkness. The cold air was still, and every crunch of snow under his boots echoed through the trees. Then, as he panned the camera across the forest, a shape flickered into view, tall, shadowy, and moving slowly between the trunks. What he captured that night would unnerve even the bravest viewer. While gathering firewood, a man suddenly heard heavy footsteps approaching nearby. Startled, he ducked behind a tree and stayed perfectly still, waiting to see what might appear. Moments later, he managed to capture something on camera, something he couldn't quite explain.
Серега, что это? Серега, да ну, Серега. Серега, ну.
A short distance away, the figure's movements looked human, but its size was far beyond anything that could reasonably be called human. The witness later described it as the most terrifying experience of his life, convinced that whatever he saw out there was anything but ordinary, A massive figure moving silently through the trees just a few yards away. A hiker ventured deep into the woods, documenting his trek on camera. The video, later shared on a channel called Bigfoot King, captured more than just the scenery. From the very beginning, there was a clear sense of unease in his voice, as if he could feel something watching him hidden somewhere among the trees.
Where are you? Straight up front. Straight up front, right? Straight up front.
At one point, he noticed what looked like a regular tree trunk, until it moved and a branch snapped. That's when the truth hit him. His hands began to shake as fear took over. He tried to steady the camera for a clearer view, but the figure was already slipping back into the dense brush. Its sheer size and presence left little doubt about what he had just seen. Overwhelmed and terrified, the hiker made the only choice that felt safe. He turned around and left the forest behind. "Where are you?" "Straight up front, yeah, straight up front, right there." Ahead of him was a series of massive footprints. They didn't look like any animal tracks he'd ever seen. The sheer size of them made him stop in his tracks, frozen with disbelief. One print stood out in particular. It was enormous, almost human-like, but far too large to belong to any person. A man living deep in the forests of Washington recently shared a photo that sent chills through the online community. He claims it shows Bigfoot lurking outside his remote cabin late at night. In the image, a tall, shadowy figure appears to be standing just beyond the glass, its outline faint but unmistakably human-like, broad shoulders, a massive frame, and two dimly lit eyes reflecting in the darkness. The man says he was alone when he heard faint movement outside, followed by a low guttural sound that made his blood run cold. Grabbing his phone, he managed to snap a single blurry picture before the figure stepped back into the night and vanished among the trees. The photo quickly went viral, sparking heated debate across social media. Some viewers insist it's solid proof of Bigfoot's existence, pointing out the height, proportions, and eerie symmetry of the silhouette. Others argue it's just another case of mistaken identity or even an elaborate hoax. Still, what unsettles people most is the setting. A cabin miles away from the nearest town, surrounded by endless wilderness, where the nearest neighbor is a 2-hour drive away. Skeptics question why, in an age where nearly everyone carries a high-definition camera, footage like this always turns out grainy and unclear. But those who've experienced the unexplained say that when fear hits and adrenaline takes over, even the steadiest hands can't hold a phone straight. So what do you think? Did this man truly capture something extraordinary hiding in the Washington woods? Or is it just another eerie coincidence? Watch the footage carefully, decide for yourself, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. A video shared on Facebook is said to capture a possible Bigfoot encounter during a camping trip in Alaska's boreal forest. In the footage, the person recording stays low and hidden, filming a large, dark figure moving through the distance. The figure appears for only a few seconds before disappearing back into the trees, leaving behind more questions than answers. This clip was captured by a trail camera in Washington state on December 25, 2009. It shows a large, dark figure appearing to kneel near a campsite. Food and snacks had been left out, hoping to attract a Sasquatch. The creature's posture is strange. Its head sits low with no visible neck, and its body looks massive with broad shoulders and a wide back. Unlike a bear, the figure seems to have a human-like build. One especially odd detail stands out: a visible groove running down the middle of its back, dividing the muscles on each side, something you'd never expect to see on a bear. So who or what was sitting beside that picnic table that night?